Hi, welcome to interQiew.com. In this video, I will go over the first question from the first C++ test on the interQiew.com website and explain the details of the code. If you haven't seen the question yet, I suggest you to visit interQiew.com website and take the first test. Then come back and watch this video. The test is free and no registration is required. Let's get started. At the beginning of the code, we have class A. It has a default constructor that prints D and a copy constructor that prints C. The first constructor qualifies as a default, since according to C++ standard, default constructor is a constructor that can be called without any arguments. Here the first argument has a default value, so the constructor can be called with no arguments. In the rest of the code, several objects of the class A are created, and for each object we need to figure out which constructor is used to create the object. Next, we have function f, which has two arguments. Both are const reference to class A, which means that these arguments will be passed to the function by reference, and no copy will occur. The second argument has default value, which is an object of class A, created by the default constructor. Then comes main function, where the action takes place. At the beginning of the function, two objects of class A are created using default constructor. So we have two default constructor calls here. On the second line, we have three declarations. The first one is to create const object C by copying object A. So it's a copy constructor call. The second declaration creates reference D to const object C, which means there is no any constructor call here. The third declaration is to create const object E from object B. This syntax is called copy initialization, and in this case generates copy constructor call. Next, we have an assignment which calls implicitly generated assignment operator of class A. The difference between this and the previous statement is that here the object B has been already constructed and now it is being modified, while there the object E itself is being constructed from another object. Then we have two pointers. The first one is initialized by operator new, which dynamically allocates memory and calls copy constructor of class A to create a new object from C. The other pointer is initialized to the address of the existing object A, so there is no constructor call here. The next line is simply about avoiding compiler warning that variable q is not referenced. If you compile this code without this line and with warnings on, you will get that warning. You may wonder why we do not have similar statement for variable e, since it's also never referenced. This is because compiler generates destructor call in the end of the scope, and the variable automatically becomes referenced. Then we have a delete statement to destroy the object pointed by p and deallocate the memory. In the end, we have a call to function f. The function takes two arguments, both have type const reference to class A. Here it's called with one argument, which is an integer. Compiler implicitly converts the integer into class A object by calling the constructor with int argument. For the second argument, since it's not provided, compiler automatically constructs it according to the default value in the function declaration, which is an object created by the default constructor. So in the function call, we have two default constructor calls to create the function arguments. Now when you know how it works, you can take the test again and check the answer. Thank you and stay tuned for more videos.